day, Captains. This is your host, USS Endeavor. Welcome aboard the Tier 5 Trento, the Italian tech tree cruiser, as we take a look at the stats, the commander, and the gameplay. Code is down below if you choose to skip all that and would rather see this spicy gameplay that we have for you today. So strap in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look. If you've been paying attention to my other videos, this will seem very familiar because it is. It's the exact same build. Luigi Sansonetti, lowering the damage to the incoming cruiser with the inspirations being Membelli and Ding Chang, which helps with your main overall battery reload, which is abysmal for the entire Italian cruiser line. Not sure why they hate these ships so much, but first slot for our mod selections, we have aiming system mod 1, helping with our dispersion and our torpedo launcher traverse speed by 20%. And second, I chose the propulsion mod. You can pick the steering gears to make it a little bit more maneuverable, but you're going to see in this video why picking the propulsion mod, was the right choice. So it helps in this video to kind of see the differences between turning and slowing and going. I need to make a little bit of a disclaimer. I kept calling this smoke exhaust generator crawling smoke in my last video a couple of times. That is not what it is. It is a rolling smoke. The difference being that a crawling smoke only disperses at a specific speed in which you have to be almost at a crawl's pace. This, you can be at full speed and take full advantage of it. So my apologies for that. On to the survivability. It is very healthy, 8,000 hit points better than the Montecacholi at Tier 4. However, your torpedo damage reduction has reduced to 10% from 16%. Not sure why that is, but okay. Moving on to the artillery, we have 203s now. So we've upgraded our shell type to 203s from 152s. We have the exact same amount of barrels, and our reload time is actually reduced slightly. Even though the caliber's gone up, the reload time has slightly gone down. It's virtually identical. The AP and SAP shell damage is also increased because of the heavier shells. Onto the torpedoes, our range has gone up quite significantly to 13.2 kilometers, but our torpedo speed remains at an abysmal 51 knots, with our reload time being 71 seconds, so slightly longer. On to the AA defense, which is not really something to talk about. It has technically gotten better, but the AA defense on the Trento is not that great at a whopping 42 rating. On to the maneuverability. Actually, every single one of these stat lines is worse than the Montecacholi. You have a worst maximum speed. It was 38 on the Tier 4. It's 36 on this one. The turning circle radius is about 20 meters worse at 630. Still good, but technically worse. And the rudder shift time is increased to 9.5 as opposed to 7 seconds. So not the greatest when it comes to the maneuverability, and it is worse than the Tier 4. Our concealment has also gotten worse. It's a little bit of a bigger ship. Shooting higher caliber shells, I guess, also equates to this, just a balancing factor. Had to pay attention to your detectability by sea and detectability while firing in smoke, because you have that rolling smoke. You need to know when you will get spotted, which is at 5.8. On to the armor. Our armor has gone up. It's gotten a little bit better, and it is going to help us in this video, and you'll see why. 16 millimeter bow. Technically, you can cause 203s to bounce. However, anything higher than that's going to punch right through. Speaking of punching right through, if they can punch through your bow, they can punch through this little section right here, off the nose as well, and plunge down into your citadel. So bow tanking battleships is a no-no. Can't do it. Won't work. On to the rest of the armor. The upper belt can bounce 356 millimeters, which you can find at this tier, at Tier 5. Several of the battleships do have that caliber, so the chances of doing that is a little bit higher. So it is a possibility, although I wouldn't count on it too much. Now, pay attention to this next section of armor in which I am going to be showing. This can cause any AP shell to ricochet right there at the waterline, which is technically your citadel, which we're just about to take a look at it, but it's going to play a part at the end of the video, so that's why I highlighted it here. onto the Citadel. It is very high out of the water, and that's no bueno. You give this flat broadside to battleships or anything with a decent caliber, even just regular 203s, if they can hit the side of this, they're going to punch right through and Citadel the bejesus out of you. And another look at that Citadel from a bow to stern, it basically covers from a little bit forward of your front turret and a little bit aft of your back turret. So it is a big, large Citadel, and if you don't angle correctly, you're back to port. Here we are in the Trento on the map Trident. It's a very familiar map. We spawn mid, and this positioning and we're bottom tier, by the way. We're in a tier 5, tier 6 lobby with basically half and half. More tier 6s than tier 5s. So this is definitely going to be some work that we got to use in this match. So spawning mid, we do have 2 destroyers for each side. However, for our team, they are spawning on the far left and right flank. So the middle, there's no destroyers. And being the aggressive player that I am, I desperately want to get into the Bravo cap. However, in this ship, it's not suited to do that. So I am just going to cover Bravo and Alpha, which is off my left-hand side. And I'm going to use this big fat island that separates both of them as where I'm going to set up shop, basically. If any destroyer happens to venture into either cap, I'm going to do my best, hopefully with the support of my teammates, to dispatch those with my SAP shells if I have the opportunity to do so. The one thing that this line suffers from, if you haven't already figured out, is that you have very little utility to help your team. You do have some utility to help yourself in the smoke exhaust rolling smoke. However, you only have a plane and that smoke. So, and that's a very limited amount of time that you get to use it. This Helena, you're going to see later on why I picked the propulsion mod against him, and you'll see how we're able to do that. Here we're throwing torpedoes on either side. Get a nice hit with our SAP rounds against the Helena. He's a lightly armored target, so also going to blind fire him right here, but we did switch to AP, and even though it was a blind fire, we still get a hit, so not bad. So far, no destroyers have pushed in, and we were able to use our smoke to kind of get into this position. Nobody is really focusing us at this point. We're kind of hidden. We're in our smoke screen, even though it's not a long duration smoke. We're going to utilize it as long as we possibly can until we don't have it anymore. Any opportunity that we have to fire our torpedoes off of both sides, we will. And we just don't have the utility or the ability to just push into the cap and contest it. We'll get absolutely obliterated, and then we're no longer any help to our team. So I don't like the fact that we have to stay out of the cap because I desperately want to get in there, but I'm no good to my team dead either. So gotta understand with the map awareness where everybody is and what's going on. And as you can see, we've already lost 1 destroyer, so we're already down 1 destroyer, which is a vital component to our ability to potentially win. There we lose another ship, so not looking good for the blue team so far. But we're going to do what we can, and we're going to fight until the bitter end, and hopefully we can turn this thing around. So here we see the York is out there. We can just clear the island, so we'll take the shot. But he is starting to move forward, as you can see on the indicator. So we're going to throw those torps out there. And although these things are slow moving, they have a very good range. So best used for zoning. Anytime you have an opportunity to throw these torps out there, you might as well. So I highly encourage that. Throw them in the general direction of ships where you think they might go. And you never know. So the Graf Spey is backing up the York, and they look like they want to push in now. So we're going to start chiming in and focusing them. We're not spotted right now when we shoot, and get a nice Citadel with our AP shell. So AP against flat broadside targets, especially against other cruisers, Really, really effective. Here we swap, or no, we're still shooting. Oh no, we swapped to the SAP. We got 4 penetrations and got really good damage off of that. There he goes down, and these torpedoes look awfully good against this craft space, so we shoot another salvo just in case these torps don't hit, but they find their home and take out the grass space. So both of those cruisers deciding to push in. That probably would have been me if I would have pushed into Bravo. I would have gotten just absolutely wiped. But as you can see, our team is desperate for any positivity at this point. It is 3v a whole lot left, and so not looking good. Here the Helena is in the cap, and I just shot this to try to reset him, but it was just a fraction of a second too late, so we weren't able to reset that cap. The Helena was able to get that off. Us focusing those 2 cruisers on the far side, we weren't able to stop the Bravo cap from being hit. So it's a little bit on me. We did pop the rolling smoke to be able to drop spot against this Helena. And here I'm going to show you why I think the propulsion and stopping and moving is effective. So just watch this next part where I'm just going to be adjusting my speed, because the Helena has a lot of guns, 15 guns, as you can see right there. They all missed. I'm going to be moving, I'm going to be slowing, I'm going to be going, and the only way this works is with the propulsion mod, because it helps me get to speed 50% faster. And you're going to see this isn't entirely the Helena's fault. Here I throw torps in front of him in case he decides to push out forward. When you're going at full speed and you stay that way, ships have a better opportunity of zeroing in. However, if you keep changing your speed, even if you're not necessarily changing your direction, you can see he shot behind us on that last salvo, so he adjusted in front of us, but we slowed down now. So now all of his shots come up short and miss to the front. And I'm not saying that I'm going to dodge every single shot, but you make life miserable, especially for a high DPM ship like the Helena, when you juke and jive like that. And when you're able to make guys miss and you're able to get shots on target, as you see, we've been able to really focus and take out the Helena, really lowering his health pool, whereas our health has pretty much stayed where it's at. He's gotten a couple hits here and there, but nothing to the degree that we've gotten against him. And that's frustrating, and I understand that. When you can master this, it becomes a very, very effective tool. So Helena pretty much on life support at this point. However, as we get closer to him, he's going to become a little bit more accurate. So again, I'm just trying to slow down. I'm not going to evade every shot. There, our shells fall short, so I'm guessing I either aimed that wrong or RNG said no. But in either case, he is really low now, and now we switch to the AP, and this salvo is going to finally take him out, and really negated a lot of those shots against me. And so that's why I picked the propulsion mod and wanted to show that off. Learning that takes time, but it's a very useful tool. Here the Nagato, he has 410 millimeter guns, and I'm the last one alive against these 4 ships, so it's all on me. And I gotta be honest, I didn't think I was gonna be able to survive as long as I did, especially against a Nagato with 410 millimeter shells. But remember what I talked about, that 70 millimeter armor at the waterline? If I can get the Nagato to shoot at my broadside and I angle correctly, I can bounce those shells, even 410s. I'm sure that made the Nagato question what was going on. And here we get a torpedo hit against him. And the Jupard shows up, so we're going to swap. I'm basically dead. But this next salvo that the Nagato throws at me right there, I bounced it. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So I throw the torps on the Nagato. I'm going to shoot this last salvo with the Jupard. I didn't realize I got set on fire here. And if I would have put out that, I get a double kill right there. And I'm like, oh, I think I could get a triple. But I forgot that I was on fire. It was such a furious, crazy moment in that I had my damage con I could have done. chances are I probably would have still died anyway. But I thought that last part was really cool. Didn't win, obviously, but almost got a crack in there. I almost had the opportunity to get a triple kill. That would have been my first, but that was fun. Figured I'd show that off to you. I think it's a decent ship. Definitely requires support. The Italian cruiser line does not have a lot of utility, and so it does require on your teammates to help you out. And when you're the lone one left, the carry potential on this line and these ships is just not that great. However, we did our best, and that's all that matters. So hope you enjoyed that, captains. Look forward to the Zara, which is next on the Tier 6. So that's going to do it for the Tier 5 Trento. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you thought. And we will see you in the next one, captains. This is the USS Endeavor signing off.